Right, good morning everyone, welcome to the second Year 8 live lesson of the week. Okay, today we're going to be doing a little bit of percentage work. Again, as usual, I'm just going to turn the comments off only because it gets in the way of the lesson. Morning Tom. Gets in the way of the lesson. So, bit of percentage work. Again, when you get a chance, can you make a start on the challenge grid in front of you? Again, we do these similar style questions every single time, only because these are some of the most important topics that you need to know. Okay guys, when you're ready, I'm going to give you 4 or 5 minutes, make a start on what's in front of you. Remember, greens are worth 3 points, yammer's worth 2, and reds are worth 1 point. Give you 2 more minutes, guys. Get as much done as you possibly can. Last minute on this. Get as much done as you can. Get your score, and then we'll add it up at the end. Right guys, so very quickly I'm just going to go through each of these. Okay, first one, I got 1088 divided by 8. Again, just set your bus stop up as you would normally. Okay, I got 1088 divided by, I'm going to do this one in a different colour, 8. Okay, 8 doesn't go into 1, so I carry the 1 over. 8 goes into 10 once, remainder 2. 8 goes into 28 3 times, remainder 4. And 8 goes into 48 6 times. So my answer is 136. 2 points. Next one. Okay, I got 394 plus 2937. Again, very straightforward addition. 2937, 394. 7 plus 4 is 11. 9 plus 3 plus 1 is 13. 9 plus 3 plus 1 is 13 again. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So my answer is 331. 1 point. Next one, I got 95 times 74. Again, you know the method that I use. It's up to you which one you use, okay? Totally your choice. I will always stand by that this is the easiest way to do stuff. Just drawing the grid is the only thing. It takes a little bit of time, okay? Once you draw on the grid, it comes fairly straightforward. I got 95 times 74. Once I've done that, 9 times 7 is 63. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 4 is 20. 9 times 4 is 36. Once I'm there, I'm just going to add up my slides, okay? In the first one, I got 0. Then I got a 5, a 6, and a 2, which is 13. Then I got a 3, a 3, a 3, and a 1, which is 10. And then I got a 6 and a 1, which is 7. So my answer is 7,030. Very, very straightforward for 3 points. Down by here, I got 7x plus 9 equals 65. Again, follow your solving equation steps. It's plus 9, so I'm going to take away 9 on both sides. If I take away 9 on both sides, 7x moves straight down. Equals, take away 9 is 56. 7x take away is 56. If I divide by 7, I end up with x equals 8. 3 points on that one. 9.3 take away 5.4. Okay, just line them up properly. 3 take away 4, I can't do it, so I'm going to have to borrow from the 9, turning that into an 8. 3 turns into 13. 13 take away 4 is 9. Decimal point moves straight down. 8 take away 5 is 3. My answer is 3.9. Simplify these again. I like to put shapes around them, okay? It's up to you if you do. Okay, I like to put shapes around them only because it makes it loads easier. So I got 4x and I got minus 5x. Those two have got a rectangle around them. Okay, 4x take away 5x is minus 1x or minus x. Okay, once I'm there, I'm going to put a different shape around the other ones. I'm going to put an oval around the minus 8y and an oval around the plus 4y. Okay, minus 8 add on 4, if you think of it like temperature, minus 8, if you go up 4 with negative numbers, it's like counting down. Okay, so minus 8 plus 4 is negative 4y. Very straightforward question, just got to be really good and careful with your negative numbers. That is worth 1. 33% of 320, again you find 10% every time first. 10% is 32. Then I'm going to find 1%. 1% is 3.2, okay? I need 3 lots of 32, which is 96. 30% is 96. Then I need 3 lots of 1%, because I'm making 33. 3% is 3 lots of 1%. 3 of them is 9.6. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add those two together. If you add on 9.6 to 96, you get 105.6. Not an easy question, but it was worth 1 mark, okay? Again, if you miss any of these and you want to write them down, I'll leave it on after the session. You can just write them down in your own time. 39 pounds dividing the ratio 10 to 3. Remember with ratio, the first thing you do, you add your shares. 10 plus 3 is 13. So there are 13 shares altogether. Okay, I'm going to divide 39 pounds by 13 to find out what 1 share is worth. 1 share is worth £3. If 1 share is worth £3, there are 10 shares on the one side. 10 lots of £3 is £30. And there's 3 shares on the other side. 3 lots of £3 is £9. So one person gets £30, one person gets 9. One of the very last ones, okay? Adding fractions now, very straightforward. You just got to make sure you get the bottom numbers the same. At the moment, 3 and 7 are different, so I'm going to times them together. 3 times 7 is the 21 on the bottom of both. Add goes in the middle. 7 times 1 is 7. 3 times 3 is 9. Once you're there, you just add the tops normally. 7 plus 9 is 16. On the bottom, 21 stays there. 16 over 21. Right, guys, can you add up your scores for me? If you want to after the session, please feel free to message me your scores. I love to see how you're progressing. It's really cool. Okay, add up your scores out of 18. If you get an 18 every single time, maybe you need to try one of the harder year groups. Maybe this is just a little bit too easy for you. Right, guys, so percentage increase and decrease. Okay, what we need to work out first is, can we do, I went through it quite quickly in the starter, can we do fraction of amount? Okay, if you can do fraction of amount, this all becomes really, really easy. Or percentage of amount, sorry. If you can do percentage of amount, it all becomes easy. Find 30% of 430. Every single one of these questions, you find 10% first. 10% of 430, we just chop off a 0, is 43. Then if I want to find 30%, I need 3 lots of 10%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to times both sides by 3. I times the up side by 3, I times this side by 3 as well. Times 43 by 3 is 129. 30% of 430 is 129. Next, I need 45% now. So I'm going to find 10% first again, as always your first step. 10% of 550 is 55. Okay, once you're there, 10% is 55. I need 4 lots of that to make 40%. So I'm going to times that by 4 to both sides. 55 times 4 is 220. Again, take your time doing that bit. 55 times 4 is 220. I also need 5%. 5% is just half of 10%. If you half 10, you get 27.5. If I want 55%, and I'm going to do that right down the bottom. Sorry if it's not really clear to see. I need 55%, I need 40% and 5%. If I add those two things up, I get 247. Let me do that again because it's not very neat. 247.5. Okay, quite straightforward. Again, it's a little bit difficult finding the 5% and adding them up, I understand. Can you have a go at these two for me, please? Make sure you got the 2 examples down on the left. Have a go at the 2 on the right for me. Last 30 seconds. Remember, give it a like if you think you're finished. The like button's in the bottom right hand corner. Right, guys, cool. So 10% of 600, easy work. 10% is 60. Always just chop a 0 off. Then 40%, I'm going to have to times that by 4. Times both sides by 4. Times 60 by 4 gives me 240. Very easy question. Underneath, 65% of 800. Okay, I need to find 10% first. 10% of 800 is 80. Then I need to times that by 6 to get 60%. 6 times 80 is 480. Okay, then I need to find 5%, which is half of 80. 5% is 40, half of 80, and then I add the bottom two up. If I add those two up, I should get 65% equals 480 plus 40 is 520. Very straightforward, a little bit of percentage and increase work. Right guys, so once you've done that and you've marked it and you're happy with your answer, can you have a go at those the task on the board for me, please? Have a go at that. Again, some more difficult ones as you work down a page. Okay, it's okay to not understand some, that's all right. Okay, have a go and let me know how you get on. Okay, the ones, if you're feeling confident, start on the ones on the right. Feeling not so confident, start on the ones on the left. I'll give you 3 minutes to see how many you can get done. If you get 10 done, that's amazing. Right guys, last minute on this, and we'll go through it. Right guys, so can you mark whatever you've done so far, please? We should be okay on those, I think. I know the numbers weren't particularly easy, but we should be okay on them. Okay, essentially all you need to be able to do to get this right is be able to divide by 10, divide by 2, and then add numbers up. Those that don't know, okay, a quick way if you want to find 50%, okay, in the future, you just got to halve it. Okay, so if you take the big number, the 160, and you halved it, you'd get 80. Okay, that's a quick way to do it in the future. Right, guys, so increase and decrease. This is what I want to focus on today. So increase is basically me pushing a number up by 30%, and decrease is taking it down. So increase is going up. Okay, so we need to work out 30% first. So 10% equals 43, and 30% equals 129. I think it's the same numbers as question 1, okay, as the first set of examples. Once you're there, okay, you've got to increase it. So I'm going to take my number 430, and I'm just going to add it on. 430 plus 129 is 529. Okay, job done. That's the first one done. Next one, for 550 by 45%. I think we worked out 45% earlier on. Okay, so but I'm still going to do it again, just to get into the good habits. 10% is 55. 40% is 220. 5% is 27.5. And then if you add those up, I get 45% as 245 of 247.5. Okay, and then it's saying increase it by, so I'm going to add that on. If I add 247.5 to 550, so 550 add 247.5 is 797.5. Okay, and that's all increasing. No, that's hang on. You're going to take them away. I made a mistake. Okay, you're going to take those away from each other. So because we're decreasing, on the top one is increasing. I did increase twice. On the top one is increasing. On this one is decrease. So I'm going to take that away. Now you can do column subtraction if you want to. 247.5. 550, take away 247.5, leaves me with 302.5. Okay, because it's decreasing. Careful with the words. Even I made a mistake there. Very careful with the words. Okay, that's the only bit I think you'll get wrong. Okay, so up here now we got decrease by 40% and increase by 65%. Have a go at those two. Use your examples from part 1 just to do them, because it's the same percentages. I'll give you 30 seconds to get the ones on the right then. Right guys, so for decreasing 600 by 40%, 10% is 60 and 40% like we worked out in part 1. 40% is 240. And then we're decreasing, so we're taking that away. 600, take away 240, gives me 360. Okay, make sure you get the increase and decrease bit right. Remember, I got it wrong at the bottom, so it does happen quite easily. Increase 800 by 65%. 10% was 80. 60% was 480, and then 5% was 40. So we added that on to get, in part 1, 65% was 520. And then it's an increase question, so I'm adding it on. 800, add on 520, gives me 1320. Okay, very straightforward topic. Okay, you just got to make sure you get the words right when you're reading it out. And you do end up with a lot of steps. Right guys, so a couple of multiple choice ones now. I'll give you 30 seconds to get that done. Okay, £200, 200, increase by 10%. It's one of the ones below. Don't have to write anything other than the letter. 15 seconds. And the answer is D. So 220, because 10% is 20, increase means added on. Add on 20 onto 200 gives you 220. Next one. Fifteen seconds. And the answer is 88. So 10% is 8. You've got to chop off a 0 to get that. Add that on because it's an increase question. Gives you 88. Next one. Fifteen seconds. Right, guys, so 300 increased by 20% is 360. Okay, 10% is 30. Double that to get 20% is 60. Increase, remember, means added on, so you get 360. Next one. Fifteen seconds. Hundred decreased by 40% is 60. Okay, 10% of 100 is 10, times it by 4 is 40. And if we're decreasing, we're taking it away from the original, so it's 100 take away 40 gives me 60. 30 seconds. Right, guys, so the answer is 69. Okay, 60 increased by 15%, 10% is 6, 5% is 3. Add those two together to get 9. You're increasing, so you're adding it on. Right, guys, what I'd like you to do, 9 questions there. If you get them all done, I'd be super, super impressed. If you could get most of those done, that'd be brilliant. Again, I'm going to give you 4 minutes to get that done. Last minute, guys. Right, guys, so mark whatever you've done so far. Those are the answers by there. I will go through I in a second, only because it's one we haven't seen today. Mark whatever you've done for me. Guys, if you don't have time to write any of the answers down, remember after the session this will be available permanently on both here and the YouTube channel. Right, guys, so I'm just going to go through I very quickly, only because it's one we haven't seen today. Now, 17.5% is a different style of question, okay? So what we're going to do, we need to find 17.5% first. So 10%, again, our first one, we always find 10%. 10% is 0.68, 68p. 5% is half of that, which would be 34p. And 2.5% is half of 5%, that's the bit you probably missed if you got it wrong, is 17p. Once you're there, you add all those up, that'll give you £1.19, and then you've got to add that on to £6.80 to get your answer, because it's an increased question. Okay, just be careful with those 3 steps. Now, guys, last thing before we finish is the plenary, just to finish off and make sure we really understand, okay? Match each of these statements up to the correct question and an answer. The first one's to be done for you. So the question was, 80 increased by 10% gives you £88. So the blue one is the number, the yellow bit is the question, the red bit is the answer. Can you match each of these blue ones with each of these yellow statements to get a red answer for me? Okay, a little bit of problem solving, a little bit of thinking. Again, there is one perfect one to go with each one. Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes to get that done. 5 questions, 5 answers, 5 numbers. This is how it should look. One I've already spotted is 90, decreased by 10%, gives you 81. That's one that I spotted. 1 more minute, guys. "30 seconds, guys. Give it a like when you think you've matched all of them." Right, guys, cool. So, you should have 80 increased by 10% gives you 88, 40 increased by 20 gives you 48, 60 decreased by 20 gives you 48, 50 decreased by 30 gives you 35, 90 decreased by 10 gives you 81, and 70 increased by 30 gives you 91. Guys, if you got maybe 3 of those out of 6 correct, I think you really understand this, okay? If you got them all correct, you have a really good grasp of this topic, and I'm really, really impressed. Guys, well done for tuning in today, and make sure you like the video when it comes up and keep supporting the page. Well done, guys. Keep it up.